We have the market pulling back currently with the banter bubbles over here. You can see most of the coins are red on the daily time frame, and we have the much anticipated ETH ETF spot launch, which is supposed to be happening later on today. Mark that off on your calendars. That should be 9:30 EST time. That's 9:30 a.m. EST time. But the most important thing to have a look at with this ETH ETF launch is going to be the flows that come in afterwards. If the flows are strong, then of course this is going to be a bullish catalyst, similar to what we previously saw. But at the moment, the question is it actually the best trade to be taking, or is there a better trade opportunity that you can be looking for? That's what we're going to attempt to discuss in today's show. So stay tuned until the very end. Smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and then, of course, subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to race through very, very quickly. The stock market, not much has changed over here. We're still playing out that corrective phase, which we spoke about from early July, that being the TD sequential 9 top. We are still in the process of the pullback on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. We have a very bearish candle on the Dow Jones on the bottom right chart over here, with price attempting at least to come back into the range over there. If we do break back down below the range, then you can expect a deeper correction. But if you look at Coinbase on the bottom left, it is still pushing up, and these rectangle consolidations actually have measured moves where you can take it from the bottom over there to the top, and you can say once it does actually break out, well, that measured move will take it to the next major resistance, which are outlined over here at $354. That would be a Coinbase trade. Now, if Coinbase is going up, you'd expect that crypto would be doing exactly the same thing. So we're still waiting for the Bitcoin bulls to close price action on a monthly scale above the pink line over here, which I have marked off at $67,464. If the bulls can close the monthly candle above this level over here, that will be incredibly bullish, and it will mean that we're looking for a major rally throughout August leading into the rest of the year. So what are some of the macro signals that you can have a look at? As Willie Woo suggests over here, there's 3 bullish things, 2 bearish things. Firstly, let's go through the list over here, one of which is something we spoke about a whole lot. That was the miner capitulation signal that occurred over here, where the miners were obviously selling a lot of Bitcoin because miner profitability has become quite a complex, difficult task in today's time. So he says over here, miner capitulation is over. It's one of the most reliable bullish indicators. The hash rate is recovering. The price and hash rate bottom coincided with upgrades to the next gen hardware hitting the network. M66s went live last week, S21 Pros this week, and the hash rate is set to scream, right? And as that moves up, you'd expect that you get a hash ribbons from Capriol Investments. That's this one over here. Hash ribbons blue buy signal. When you get that hash ribbons blue buy signal, we spoke about this major low that occurred over here on Bitcoin. And once that blue buy signal prints over here, let's just assume that the miners do get back humming again with their machines. Then you print another low over here, a higher low at least. Once you print that blue buy signal, that means every single time this is the bottom, right? That becomes the bottom for the cycle, and you look for major continuation higher. But I'll update you guys on that when relevant, because at the time being, we still don't have the blue buy signal. That hasn't actually printed yet. So he says over here, miner capitulation is a very responsive indicator. The breakout preluded with hash rate recovery. Price responded within a day, and ultimately he says when it kicks in, we normally have months of bullishness continuing. And you guys know my prediction is that this bull run will last at least another 12 more months. You can also look at the Powell multiple, which measures the miner's relative profit to past revenues. And he says it's a 1-2 punch macro signal. Number 1, macro bottoms happen when profitability is at its minimum. And number 2, a signal bottom happens when BTC halving cuts miners' earnings by 50%, leading to the proper bull run. That is the supply shock, right, where the miner reward gets divided in 2. And we've seen the 1-2 punch, right? We've seen number 1 print over here, and now we've seen number 2, which presents just major opportunities. And then he says miners will be making good money from here. Publicly listed miner stocks should break out. Now is a good time to buy into mining, or you can just buy into Bitcoin. And then, of course, he goes on to show his stuff. Let's go on over here. He says if you look also at the long-term bullishness that you can have a look at is the global liquidity, right? Trade buybacks on risk on assets like Bitcoin when liquidity and money printing tend to expand towards the upside, and you're seeing early signs of a breakout. Global liquidity increasing. We've looked at this a lot, and you have the liquidity trend with the histogram flattening out, looking to break above that 0 mark. And he says, as for some of the bearish signals though, remember there's 2 of those. He says we're seeing a buildup of coins entering spot exchanges, possibly in preparation to sell. And then the 50,000 BTC from Mt. Gox being sent to Kraken and being front run by other coin holders, right? And he says the second potential bearish impact on Bitcoin will be the launch of the ETH spot ETF, which is now today. Some of the capital in BTC ETFs could potentially rotate into the ETH ETF, but it's hard to estimate how much. So basically, as summarized, a tug of war, right? A tug of war between the bulls and the bears, and you're looking for any higher lows over here to be opportunities to get long. You have price stalling out right at the stop and reversal indicator, which acts as resistance, pulling price towards the downside. And what I said earlier this week is that the most probable outcome is that you have 3 weekly candles going up, 1, 2, and 3, which means any red that occurs over here is most likely just going to be a wick. And ultimately, I expect expansion to continue on higher. But with that being said, this is still lower highs throughout, and price is caught at resistance. So the trend is your friend until the end of that trend, or until that trend begins to bend, right? That is the saying. But price is above the 21 EMA on the weekly time frame, which means it's still pretty good in that regard. Okay, if you look at the correction, we're now 131 days in the correction. That also puts the seesaw more weighing towards the bull side, because it means that this corrective phase is nearing its end, right? What goes up must come down. What goes sideways must eventually go back up again as well. And this has been going sideways for already closing in on 5 months, right? 4 to 5 months. It's been a long correction. We are above the middle of the Bollinger Band over here, which is at 65.6. That's going to be a little bit of support. Low volatility, expecting a big move. That's all still the same. We can look at both Bitcoin and Ethereum over here on the Super Guppy indicator. Price on Bitcoin above the 50. Super Guppy is gray, getting ready to flip green. Any pullbacks that occur into this region, which is going to be the high $63,000 zone, that would be a buy the dip scenario. As for Ethereum, you can see Ethereum is caught exactly at the 50. It's broken back up above that, and it's holding that now. Will it continue to hold it is the question. If so, expect that the Super Guppy will start to flip green, and then that's where your trending moves take place. Bitcoin over here broke above the mid-range level, which is also where your pivot level is. Also happens to be with the 9 and the 18 exponential moving average. So looking at this 65.6 to flip into major support. Ethereum, well, Ethereum also similar to the Super Guppy coming into major support over there. You definitely want to see those levels hold. So you do have low liquidity in the 63K region, which means that you can't rule out the possibility for a quick little wick down into that zone. I have updated the private Discord over here using the institutional charts. You can see over here that most of the deltas are positive. Ironically, if you look over here at, let me just look a little bit closer. I'm on a small screen today. If you look at Pepe and you look at NEAR, those have actually negative delta, but the rest of the coins have positive delta. And you can see where most of the liquidity has been set over here. If I just scroll up a little bit more, you got some big buy orders coming in at 65.5. That's about $30 million worth of buy orders on Bitcoin. And then as for ETH over here, you have a $3,255, $13.3 million worth of liquidity, which is stacked over there. So definitely something to keep an eye out on. If you do start to lose those levels, then look to that 63K level as major support. For both Bitcoin and Ethereum, you do have the golden cross between the 50 and the 200 EMA on the 4-hour chart. Pullbacks into those regions become buy the dip zones. There's ETH, right? ETH closer to major support than what Bitcoin actually is. Bitcoin showed relative strength over the last couple of days. Okay. Open interest flat and coming down. You have the leverage also coming down, spot coming down, price kind of holding sideways. Watch for this on the low time frames for the short traders or the short time frame traders when you want to see momentum come back into the market. Okay, total 3, also a trend is your friend, right? Still lower lows and lower highs over here, but we're looking for a break back into the yellow. By the way, guys, also a quick reminder, Whale School, remember you do have a couple of days left to join. Use the link in the YouTube description below. Sign sign up to Whale School while it is still open. Okay, Bitcoin dominance. What's interesting over here is we have the ETH ETF, spot ETF, which is coming up today, but you actually have Bitcoin dominance, which is pushing up towards the upside over here, showing strength over the last couple of weeks, right? Look at those wicks over there. Now, we spoke about this. We said this is obviously the path that we want to see, but we spoke about how many things are in the bull's court versus the bear's court over here. And theoretically, the only thing in the bear's court is going to be the rising wedge formation, which we give lower weighting towards, right? Because higher weight must be given to trend, which is up. Higher weight must be given to horizontal levels, which we're above, which means it's support. And higher weight must be given to high time frame moving averages, which are also above. So with that being said, until price breaks below these levels, which are outlined over here, we'd be looking for some sort of chop in this region for a couple of months on Bitcoin dominance. And then eventually we need to break below the yellow line, which is going to be 53.81% on BTC dominance. Break below that, and then you can start to see prices moving in the altcoin sector. Right now, Bitcoin dominant, or at least, ETH BTC chart continues to remain towards the downside over here, but ETH USD is coming into key support, as I just showed you on all those other various time frames. So is that the best trade? I think the simple answer is no. Solana is still a better trade to be taking because once the ETH ETF starts trading, everybody's going to be looking towards Solana as the next one, right? Not only that, but you're seeing great metrics over here, massive increases in the wallets over the last 7 days, continuing to climb. Price has been strong. The Grayscale Solana Trust is actually trading at $524.49 per share, increasing as well pretty aggressively over there. So I think it's the best trade right now. Bob Lucas also showcasing over here, Sol BTC chart is still pretty much a standout of this 4-year cycle. Look at that, straight higher highs and higher lows. And basically says doesn't see any good reason why this trend should change. Sol getting to 600 very quickly is very, very possible, right? And even then, it will still be less than half of ETH's market cap, which means if a Solana ETF, spot ETF gets approved, it's going to be very, very bullish for Solana. And Solana could be, the similar to the ETH 2017 cycle. You might see something similar in the sense of what Solana's performance may look like. And we've looked a whole lot at Solana, right? We focused on Solana quite a bit. Let's go back to this chart over here and quickly have a look at Solana. You guys know it's been my biggest position. Now it is currently pulling back. Basically, if you see a pullback that comes into the 160 region, so if you see something like this, most likely that's going to be the zone where you want to hold, where you want to load up, and you're looking for the next big move up to 206. Break and hold above 206, and we're off to all-time highs, and you can start to look at a very, very strong trending market there in Solana. Okay, another coin that's been doing well, which we've spoken about a lot in the past, is Commonwealth, right? Still up on the day over here, trading at 10 cents. It was literally at like 1 cent a couple of days ago. That's a 10x immediate return. I know many of you hold Commonwealth. If you do, remember they are partnered with us. And if you come through to the link in the description below, you can actually stake it as well for 214% APY. So if you are planning on holding for the duration of this bull run, that is a great opportunity over there. Remember, guys, Commonwealth gives you the opportunity to be a VC, right? You can't get seed round investments without getting into these incubation projects or launch pads. They are similar to that in the sense that, by staking their tokens, you participate in the seed round investments, you get allocations into those coins. So cool, let's move on. I want to make today's show very, very quick. Let's quickly have a look over here. One coin that I'm eyeing out is Resistance Dog. This is just to get some exposure to TON. Let's go to TON over here, quickly see how TON is doing. So TON starting to actually look bearish. I must be honest with you. This has been a powerful uptrending move over here, and it is starting to roll over. You're breaking back into, not only have you broken the uptrend over here, but you're also breaking back into the range. That theoretically opens up the possibilities to start to short any little bounces that occur here with stop losses above, and then you'd be trading this all the way back down into the mid-range region, which is going to be coming in right about here. So as this comes down into just below $6, you can watch for newfound support over there. Again, failure to hold that support means you're going down to the next level. Now, I'm looking at resistance dog as a higher beta play, in the same way that if you want a higher beta play on ETH, you would be trading 𝗕𝗢𝗅. If you want a higher beta play on Solana, you would trade 𝗕𝗢𝗓 or any of the other meme coins that are on Solana. Resistance dog is a meme coin on TON, but I'm going to wait to see how price reacts over here first, and as it moves down towards the mid-range, because if that does happen, I would expect resistance dog is also going to come down. Now, that would be something I'm looking at. Okay, you also have Boden, which is starting to put in a big pump. Look, I mean, it's come down pretty aggressively over here. So in hindsight, that's just a tiny little candle, but yet it's still 105% up. Now, the reason for that is, I'm sure you guys know, especially if you're in the US, there's obviously been a lot going on in the markets, a lot going on with what happened with Trump. And then now you have the same thing with Joe Biden coming out and essentially, so you can go over here to Joe Biden. Let's go over here. Coming out and resigning. You can see over here, he changed his banner to Harris for President, 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢. So it looks like she's the one that's going to be pretty much his leading on from Joe Biden's at least run for presidency. But they're now saying that he's disappeared. So I think that we need to get some sort of clarification whether this is going to affect the stock markets or not. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you guys know what's going on. But Boden pumping, is that a trade I would take? Definitely not. I would still be more interested in rather taking Trump, right? Because we know Trump is going to stay around. He's obviously going to continue to make a whole lot of noise. And he is going to be speaking at the Bitcoin Nashville conference, which is coming up pretty much right now. So coming right into key support over here, the lowest I would be looking at is about 31 cents over here on Trump. I'm also still in the competition over here, at least within this trade, which is going to be the WIF trade. So you can see over there, I have raised stops to break even, just in case we get a deeper pullback on Bitcoin that comes down to 63. But nevertheless, I am in that trade, up 15%, was up 45% yesterday. But I'm looking for a longer swing trade. I'm not taking partials or anything. By the way, if you guys do want to participate, there's a link below if you want to participate in that Bybit trading competition. Here it is. Click that link. You can win yourself a Tesla Cybertruck. Now, for tomorrow, by the way, I won't be doing any show tomorrow because, as you can see, I'm not in the studio. I am at home. I'm not in even my home studio. I've packed everything up. I am moving and flying tomorrow, so I'll be traveling. But I'll see the rest of you on Whale School. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. If you do want to keep in touch, guys, also make sure you jump into Whale Room. I'm still keeping that updated even while flying. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great day and cheers for now.